live, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay! Hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOHEME 2.0 Act 3 Watch Party. We have as our special guests tonight, we have a few special guests tonight. We have Corey Mills, a friend of mine and my first director here in Chicago. We have Lauren Baptiste, who was our original Marcello in Bohème in a Bar. And we have Emily Cox, the beautiful and talented, I don't know, how do you want to name yourself? She's emoji super title.
Emoji queen.
Extraordinary. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That works. From our cast tonight, we have Lauren Berman as Musetta, and we also have Andrew Wannigman as Marcello. We have our wonderful technical director, Elijah Lee, and we have our amazing music director, Jim Welch.
Hello.
And I'm me, Johanna Moffitt.
I'm here, though you can't see me, but I'm here.
So the way this works is we watch the show and we talk about it and questions and comments that come up. You guys are welcome to ask us your burning questions there in the chat. But yeah, I'm excited. There were a lot of things that went so wrong and so right last night. So I'm excited to watch it.
So this is right before, we're going to start right before the show starts. Yeah, this should be fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
cheers,
yeah.
guys.
Okay.
What you drinking, Corey?
Margarita.
Oh,
Fancy.
You're so
I
fancy.
have margarita too.
Oh, also fancy.
I have
Two margaritas and two Marcellos. Oh.
All right, so starting now.
Oh, girl, that contouring. It's true. Hey, Lydia. Hey, Lindsay. Charlie just snored.
Good dog.
Okay.
I like when you get excited and your voice like goes up.
I didn't even notice. I'm such a terrible friend.
Nah.
1, 2,
I'm a
3,
jerk.
4, 1.
Oh, I'm so excited to tell you this finally. This always reminds me of The Princess Bride. These like MIDI flute.
Yes.
Like it makes me think of The Princess Bride.
You know, it reminded me a lot of Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I can
it's
hear
very Alan
bells, bells, bells.
Oh, look at Alfredo's face. They were
This
so
is the
good
first
at
time I get
this.
to actually see the acting. Like normally I'm critically
Friends luckily putting in the super title.
Yeah, I never get to watch you guys.
questions. You're such an amazing job, Em. I'm so glad that we get to chat with you, like, face to face.
Oh my god, it is so much fun. I've been having a riot.
That's awesome.
Voilà! Le guardie, aprite!
Stuart!
There he is.
They're awesome.
Voilà!
The cast is, like, the chorus, we are so
Quelli di
lucky,
Chantilly,
honestly.
siamo gli spazzini. Fiocca la neve. Voilà! Qui s'agghiaccia.
Lauren and Lauren, you're tripping me
Vengo.
out. Stop it. Wow, I sound so
Now, Lauren, is that a real martini?
Oh yeah, that was one of 3 I had last night.
Yes.
Not during the show. I didn't have
best
3 during the
quarantine
show.
Sure.
You know, that was some cool drink passing. Yeah. We coordinated that, right?
Yeah. I asked Lauren to pass the drinks to the guys so that they could take them. That was really fun.
Eccola.
Grazie.
That was his big break.
Buona donna mi fate favore
That was his big break.
di cercarmi per favore Marcello.
You guys, these Jason and Rachel both go to my alma mater, and they were suggestions from Jim. But it's so awesome. These guys are like 20, you know? They're amazing.
Seriously?
They just do
They
a
were
great job.
great.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just graduated last week.
Ehi, carboniere.
Amazing. I loved the orchestrations you put in, by the way. I didn't get to change them.
Water.
Thank you.
Really great.
Thank you.
They add to a lot to the acting, too.
Corey, your faith right now.
I'm enjoying it again for the second time.
Mimi.
Speravo di trovarvi qui.
Immersam qui da un mese di quello stelle spese.
You look so cool, Andrew.
Thank you.
Passeggeri. Io pingo quei guerrieri sulla
So good.
E freddo entrate.
You know that jacket? Actually, a costumer gave to me. in
Really?
grad
It's
school.
so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Found it and I was like, oh man, it's really nice. It's got like a velvet collar.
Yeah.
Did you like it? And he just like gave it to me. I was like, sweet.
All right.
It was
I hope you
my reward for him putting me in tight pants for 2 years.
Which was really a gift for everybody else in the show.
Yeah, right.
I did Marriage of Figaro there, and the final dress rehearsal, when during the Contessa Perdona part, I went down on my knee, and my pants literally split right down the middle. God, it was like the dress rehearsal, but I was just like, oh, these are a bit too tight.
Dude, you were slaying this part last night. I was like,
So dramatic.
It took me so long to feel connected to this. It's such a different medium. Like usually I'd be so into my body, and I
Oh yeah,
like,
very like Puccini, melodramatic and all that.
yeah. But this, because it's just like this little window, it was so hard to figure that out.
It's all eyes.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things I've noticed. I think you guys do a really great job with really acting it out, even though you're acting to a screen.
I'm gonna pause
we
it
should all
right
become,
quick
like,
while we're talking.
TV movie stars, you know?
I know we should be movie stars.
I mean, you look pretty good on the camera right now. I'm not gonna lie, guys.
It is a lot more difficult to be acting to a camera than to people, like, just even out on the stage, out in the audience off of the stage.
Yeah, it's certainly more subtle.
Yeah.
Well, you can't play off anybody's energy. There's no exchange. Like,
Yeah.
it's just this cold, dead screen you're kind of playing to. So it kind of feels like an empty suck.
And it's hard to check in with the other actors because
my cold dead heart.
Like I didn't know that Andrew was pointing to the paintings behind him until I was talking to Sam, my best friend, and she was like, "Did you know that he was doing that?" I said, "No, that's awesome. Like that's so good." Like because you're looking at the camera, you're not looking at the video.
Yeah.
What's happening? So.
And it's
Lydia
kind of awkward
said-
too, because like if I look over to your camera, then
Right.
I'm not looking into the camera, you know? It's like I'm
Right.
looking to the side.
So
and
it
then
looks like you're not looking
that's
at
not
me.
as engaging.
Right. Lydia said the part of the story is hilarious when you're talking about Musetta at the tavern. You and Musetta, you're so secure in your relationship. Little does he know.
Well, that is that's the whole act 3 though. Is like we
Yeah.
start out and Musetta and Marcello are good, and Mimi and Rodolfo are not good, and by the end of the act, it's like totally flipped. You know,
seesawed.
Yeah.
Nice juxtaposition.
Oh, Johanna, I was gonna say, did you tell him about the missing part?
Oh, the part that when my screen stops.
No. So remember we were talking about.
Oh, Corey has this. Tell them, Corey.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure because last night I really just wanted to watch it without sort of following along, and so today I Googled it just to sort of again refresh my drink. So and then I found a part that said the missing part, and I was like, okay, what is that? So it says in 1957, and I'm gonna mess up a lot of words. The widow died, and the papers were given to the museum. Among them were the full libretto to La Boheme. It discovered that the librettist had prepared an act which Puccini decided not to use in his composition. And it's noteworthy for explaining Rodolfo's jealous remarks to Marcello in Act 3. The missing act is supposed to be located in the timeline between the cafe scene and Act 3, which describes an open-air party at Musetta's. It's a party, an open-air party at Musetta's dwelling, because when her protector refused to pay her rent, like he takes all of her furniture and moves it out into the courtyard. And so they're just having a party, and then Musetta gives Mimi a beautiful gown and introduces her to this boy, which then makes sense when Rodolfo talks about the young fop.
Yeah, because he
He's
kind
like
of
a wealthy
pushes her.
discount.
He pushes her away so she gets with somebody wealthy because he thinks that can help her. You know.
I want to see
Yeah.
that.
It makes so much more sense. Why would you not include that?
And that includes Marcello's 3 arias that are missing.
Right?
I'm sure.
His
And
mad
also
scene.
like Musetta and Mimi's duet.
Yes.
Like we're friends. Who knew? We don't interact with each other until Act 4.
At all.
Right.
It's the coughing duet. You guys have.
They're like a ladies' room duet or something.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
She's like,
Johanna,
girl.
was that the part where you sang "Out Tonight"?
Yes.
I want to see that one. I want to see that one.
No,
She's
that's
like,
the
"Girl,
first
you
act,
need to
honey.
marry
That's the
up.
first
Come
act.
on."
Oh my god. Oh, should we keep watching?
Let us continue.
Thanks, Elijah.
That's what I'm here for.
fucking cape. Oh.
This is my favorite part because I'm always just like, yeah, me and Musetta are just so happy and we're good. And like you're like pouring your heart out, and I'm just like, yeah, we're doing great. It's like almost like I'm ignoring what you're saying in a way. It's like always kind of really hard.
I think Marcello is kind of like everything's gonna be fine kind of personality until it's not. I don't know. That's my take on him.
Yeah, a little bit. I think that's definitely more Chonard. He's just like, oh, what's going on, guys? Hey.
He's like, here's that shiny thing, and there's that shiny thing.
Yeah. And then Colleen is like clearly just like the bass who's like just chill.
Depressed all the time.
Chill and like, yeah, he's a philosopher, so he's so emo.
It's got the COVID.
I kept acting and then my earbud would pop out.
Yes, that's the worst.
I was like, shit.
Hate that.
Elijah and I were back and forth like, oh my god,
Yeah.
Andrew's thing just kept coming out.
Yeah, we were talking about it.
And
I was
Well,
like,
like,
good, he put
the
it
way
back
you
in.
did it was very
Oh no, it's out again.
natural.
I was like, well, I just slide this back in my ear canal. I guess there's like traditionally that part where it's like da 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 da. There's usually like, hey, Marcello. That Rodolfo.
Oh, really?
says sometimes, yeah. In like classic productions. That's
Wow.
that was a hard part to say like goodbye to you. You know?
Yeah.
Normally there's like an embrace or something and a walk off, and it's just like, okay, see you later.
I mean, the whole end of we'll get there, but like the whole end of the quartet, I'm like, I really just want to like kiss Rodolfo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love his background. It looks
Bernard got so
phenomenal.
many compliments on his background and his scarf.
He's
It's
got,
so
he must
cool.
have a ring light or something. He's a professional.
Yeah.
He's got a ring light and a portrait studio. And
Yeah.
You know, he's a designer. Like
probably raking
Oh,
in that
the
the
Venmo.
way that his
Wonder.
apartment looks is like
Yeah.
is all by design.
Oh, cool.
He's really creative.
For my friends, I always feel bad bringing them over. I'm like, oh yeah, just don't look in this room or at this or at any place like that. It's gonna be your place. It's so much nicer.
This is my favorite part of the opera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I tell him he has Colerico.
Yeah. Well, like, I think it really builds up to this part where he's like saying all this crap that isn't.
Yeah,
true.
no, and I like don't buy
And
any
then-
of it. I'm just like, yeah,
Right.
whatever. Yeah, whatever, bro.
I think this is like the first real moment that Rodolfo has with both guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
Everything
the whole-
else is, yeah.
But I mean, you
Yeah.
have to think
Surface,
about
you know?
all these characters are like in their 20s. Like,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
something I always thought about is like, have they dealt with this kind of seriousness before of like somebody dying and all that stuff? Like, you know, it's like they're experiencing love for the first time, all those things to where it's like, it's almost overwhelming, you know?
Oh yeah.
Back
Because
then,
somebody you love
didn't
is
stuff
being
happened a
sick.
lot earlier.
But they're also artists, and we all know we're a little behind. As artists.
Well, yeah, I definitely think as artists, like life experience shapes you for sure. You
What is on my coffee table? Sorry.
I don't know, but you look disgusted about it.
Oh boy.
What is that?
I don't know.
It looks almost, I don't know what that is. You should go find it right now.
Oh, coasters.
And I think this lip gloss. And I think my earbuds, yeah.
I love this little trio /
This was a really lovely moment last night.
Aria and our little
Yeah.
Oh, you guys, I'm about to disappear.
Yeah, it's funny because like
Can't see it, but my hands are in my pockets right now. Like, really giving you, like,
That's a good acting choice.
full acting.
And she's gone. Where's the
I was acting the crap out of this part too.
Oh, you
I was
froze?
like coughing, yeah.
Yeah, she froze.
Oh, I didn't
I
even
froze.
know that.
I disappeared. I
Look at me,
disappeared.
I'm just like not. I'm in my own world.
Let's pause it for a second and really dissect this part for a minute.
Yeah, like,
Let's
okay,
do
so
a
at this
play-by-play.
point,
Look at
I'm
that.
so
I
disappointed,
didn't
you
realize what
guys.
happened.
Because
you
there's
know,
a
But like your audio and stuff was fine, huh?
Oh, it was perfect.
it's so funny because I have it on during the show, but I'm mostly texting with Elijah to make sure everything's all right, and I wasn't really watching. I was just following my score, and then all of a sudden my phone starts dinging, and it's our group chat. It's like, I think Johanna's gone. And I look, I'm like, oh no.
so
There's
Yeah,
not that much.
they-
She doesn't have much singing to do anyway. It's just an aria and stuff.
Yeah, just a little one.
I'm
No one will miss
watching.
it.
I'm watching everything with my like four screens that I'm watching, 5 screens that I'm watching at the same time, and she freezes, and I freak out. I'm just like, oh crap. So Jim and I are talking back and forth, like, what are we gonna do? And our thing is, it's like if someone leaves out in the middle of a show, we try to wait as long as we possibly can until we just stop. So we're waiting, and then Jim says, we have to stop. I'm like, okay, fine, just stop. And just as we're about,
through Aria.
just as we're about to stop, Johanna
It was
just
just the first
miraculously
part.
comes back, and
She's alive.
somehow she didn't miss a beat. So can you tell us a little bit how you didn't miss the
Yeah.
beat that entire time? 'Cause that was-
Okay,
I-
so first of all, it took me forever to realize that it was happening.
That's good though.
Yeah, well, because that's the part when,
Because you're
I
serving
didn't-
face.
well, yes.
Yes.
Well, because I'm not looking at the screen because I was thinking about, what you guys were saying and the character and like not really looking at the screen. I was coughing and like all that stuff. and I get to addio, and I look up and I'm like, oh crap. It was like Zoom was like doing the thing that it does when it's thinking about whether or not you can reconnect. And I was like, oh crap. And so I was like, do I restart my router? Like, what do I do? And so I just was like, okay, just let it go for a second. And I just kept singing. And it started. And when I saw Bernard's face, Bernard was like, and then he saw my face, and then he was like, oh. And I was like, okay. Okay, we're good. Keep going.
Can we just talk about just the level of trust you have to have with like Jim and I that we say like don't stop until we tell you to, and someone just disappears and they just keep going.
Yes.
That's
across the board.
That's a high level of trust you have to have.
It's crazy, guys.
Yeah.
That's how you know we have the right people for this project, because honestly, like it is we just don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what's going to happen. And we prepare the best that we can individually and as a group, but what happens is what happens. And that's kind of why I love this, because it's like being in a real show. Emily and I were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
Remember? And how like,
it's kind of like a peek behind the curtain for the audience finally.
Well, it's that classic saying of do your job, you know? It's like, okay, I can only control me, do your job.
Yeah.
And
but we experience that all the time. Stuff goes wrong in live theater all the time. Somebody misses a cue, somebody wasn't standing there, the costumer didn't make the quick change. So like we always have that kind of like stress level and excitement and kind of that bonding experience. But I feel like this is going to allow the audience to kind of experience that with us. And so they were really invested at the end of the chat. They really wanted to know about it. And then they for you and
Dorian.
Yeah.
Dorian, Dorian said, you said that last week. You said that about Elijah, LMAO.
He's always a shady bitch.
So it was interesting.
He's like, yeah.
And then right then and there, this isn't pre-recorded. It's real. It's live. It's in real time. The stress is there. So that answers your question.
Yeah.
Well, so my question is, so how did the interruption actually, how did it hurt you? And how do you think that it helped you?
Ooh, good question. Well, the first interruption actually threw me off a little bit. I felt like worried and nervous. And so I know that I wasn't as connected with my character during our scene, Andrew, as I was during the dress rehearsal. I mean, I still think I did a good job, but like, it wasn't,
You did.
it wasn't, it didn't feel as good. And so then when the second one happened, I was just like, oh, so then I was like, fine. And like, just went for it and did it anyway. You just got to keep going. And that's like, people think that what we do is simple or whatever, but you are making like instantaneous decisions constantly. And that's what theater is. Like you decide what's going to happen in the next scene, and you can plan as much as you want to, but I don't know. Did that answer your question, Corey?
Yes. And it sort of brings me back to something that you and I had discussed earlier about how this sort of brings reality into it and sort of makes the audience virtually connect with you more, but because this is what we're used to, because the stuff does happen all the time, no matter what kind of musical theater, plays, opera, no matter what sort of art form. It's the live aspect is always like.
Yeah. And I feel like something that Em and I had talked about was like that's the thing that I always have loved about live theater is like when I'm watching it, I love that heightened sense of we don't know what's gonna happen. Like we don't like, even if everything goes the way that everyone wants it to, like that high sense of emotion, that heightened sense of like like storytelling makes it exciting, and so then when things go wrong, it's even more exciting.
Yes.
Well, and on top of that, like, you never know what you're gonna bring into the performance that day, like what happened leading up to it, or like what life experiences you've had that suddenly correlate with the story or the character that you're portraying. And and that can be, and like day to day, like if you do a long run of a show, you can be a completely different person the next day just because of how you slept or what happened on the way there.
This, what did I say? This tech foible gave us a mutual vulnerability.
That was
between us
about communication and opening up the communication channels between audiences and performers.
I think it's such a great opportunity.
Equalizer.
It's such a great opportunity to really show them, you know, what it feels like. And I think that, I mean, isn't that what you want? You don't want everything to be perfect, right? Like, you want everything to be big and beautiful and messy, and that's why we're here. So, you know, I don't know. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Right. As for me, being behind the scenes, you know, there's this initial sense of panic that happens when there's a technical difficulty. But I don't know. I feel like the anticipation of something bad happening is worse than that bad thing happening. So as for me,
maybe that's
like getting it over and done with and seeing us still survive and recoup from it and everything is fine. You know, I feel better going forward. You know what I mean? Because no matter what production you're doing, whether it's stage, whether you're like doing like film or television, there's always that element of surprise of not knowing what's going to happen. But doing something like this, it's like that extra element. That's the internet. You don't know what it's going to do, how like technology, you know, Zoom isn't the best app out there. It sometimes just shuts down and you don't know. So, you know, it's always this air of like, what's going to happen? But, you know, when you're around people that like can roll with the punches.
Before you decided on Zoom, did you look into like Teams and the other apps to see what maybe was the best? Or
the problem is it's just like with those programs, they're all kind of, I don't know, janky. So one isn't necessarily better than
like, I know Facebook just came out with a new one, right?
Yes, Facebook came out with a new one. And the problem is that just with the Facebook one, I know that people just have problems with that just in general, getting it installed on their computer.
Yeah.
And then it's just
more about accessibility and whatever's easiest, maybe. Exactly.
You know. And then like with Zoom, you can like give someone the link and they don't necessarily need to have an actual Zoom account. That kind of makes it easier. Yeah. So it's a mess, but it's a beautiful mess, and we make some beautiful music out of it because the technology itself is a mess, but the production that we produce is like something really wonderful.
Yeah, well said.
I love beautiful mess.
And also you think about just like the internet, like how it's so unstable and so uncertain, but especially at times like these when it's probably even more overwhelmed, you know, because that's like our only medium we have. So like I've had multiple moments during the week where like I have like low connectivity or something like that, and I'm like, oh crap, this better not happen tomorrow when we have a rehearsal or performance, you know, or whatever. It's like,
I mean, when we do the show, we're doing it like 7:00 Central on a Friday.
Yeah.
On a Friday night. So there's a lot of people. Prime, Netflix, and chill time and all that. So there's always that. That's something I think about quite often.
Yeah. I mean, we could pick a different night, but
I mean,
Monday
I like doing shows on Fridays.
1:00.
I think it brings an aspect of the human to it too, you know? It's like a snapshot of exactly where we are right now and what we're doing, and I think it's perfect. It's very organic. It's organic art.
Yeah.
Very few people can say that during this time in our history, during this global pandemic, were they able to adapt and evolve during this time. And, you know, we all get to say Yeah, we did that.
We did that. Congratulations, you guys.
You brought Puccini to a new platform, y'all.
Yes.
I keep thinking about what Rosemary said, one of our audience members last week, I think, like that Puccini would have been so happy with this because he was always thinking like theatrically and like what's next. And, you know, so I think we did the right thing. That's all.
I agree.
Awesome.
I will start it back.
Okay.
Oh, one more thing I need to mention.
Yeah.
I should mention. As I said that we were getting ready to stop it just as she popped on.
Oh yeah, this is great.
So I already have pressed pause on everything to stop it. And as soon as I do that, you come back. So if I take my hand off the mouse, it stops everything. So for the rest of the show, I have to keep my this death grip on my mouse.
Look at Corey's face.
To keep her from, and like now at this point now I'm really sweating. Now my heart is really beating. I'm just like,
you know, at one point, like you sent me a picture of your hand gripping this mouse.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna bother you anymore because you're texting one-handed and you're holding this mouse, and it was so funny. But then at one point later you said my hand is starting to cramp, and I just typed in 1 minute left. Hold on.
Yes.
Elijah is literally the white knight of this production. Would you prefer Dark Knight?
Oh, I was thinking it, but I was going to say it. I'm joking.
Sorry, that was a joke because we did a Batman thing together. Sorry,
Yes, we did Batman, and I voiced Batman.
Oh.
Oh, it's Catwoman.
We fought. Pressing play.
I can't watch this.
She's just really still acting.
There we go. Just voiceover. Do your aria.
This is about the time I looked up and I was like, oh.
My favorite is like during those scenes because like I'm like trying to be present and acting, and then I'm also like, okay, let me find the button to turn off video.
Right? It's so awkward.
I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, hold on.
Look at him. He's doing such a great job.
Oh my gosh,
really
he's slated.
He's a pro.
In his mind,
Yes,
he's
give
like,
it up for Bernard in this
oh shit,
moment,
oh shit,
yeah.
oh shit.
I wondered what was happening when I watched it. So I was like, what is he doing? He's admiring himself.
I went in the chat and just said, if you know, you know. Because it was like, only if you knew the opera did you know that she wasn't singing.
What was going on?
Yeah.
That's what that meant.
Well, like, I think I just realized something, Lauren. I saw.
Yay.
Boom! There you are. And you don't
Didn't miss a beat.
Don't miss a beat. You're right on.
And there's just like this wave of relief.
Wait, at what point did I come in?
right before you started talking about your little pink hat. It was
okay.
Like the cross and the jewelry box.
Okay. It
Okay.
was. And I love singing Mimi. It's such a gorgeous role.
You are Mimi.
No.
Your voices.
My voice, yes. Oh, you guys. Okay. I was walking down the street today. I did not realize this. I feel kind of bad. My neighbor 2 houses over was like, hey. And I was like, yes. He goes, I have a question. I said, yes. He goes, are you an opera singer? And I was like, yes. And he goes, Oh, my daughter said something about she keeps hearing this opera singer singing. I'm like 2 houses down. I feel kind of bad,
Nice.
but also that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Don't feel bad. Just embrace it.
Oh, I know. I was like, oh, you should watch our show.
Get that hustle.
Which is your favorite aria, the first act or this act?
My favorite aria is Rodolfo's Arietta.
No, of yours.
She was bad at answering questions.
Yeah, probably Donde Dieta. It's so beautiful. I also really love the little Arietta in Act 4. It's so beautiful. I'm so excited about singing it next week because it's like it's their first moment alone together after a long time, and so it's just like really special.
I love how genuine these moments are, and their reading is genuine through Zoom. Like you're actually crafting these moments on stage, on my screen.
Oh,
This whole project has just really given me hope for this medium.
Oh, Andrew disappeared.
Oh, I hope he's back in time for our quartet.
Yeah, unstable internet again.
I just was worried it was me. James, I love you.
Is that your brother?
Yeah. Gosh, Bernard's voice.
Here comes the bombastic boom.
Yes!
I went too fast.
If that's the worst thing you did, you're fine.
Whenever I hear that boom, I think that I'm just
Andrew's coming
launching
back.
the two of them into the air.
The magic of live theater.
Yes, it is.
Signore mi diceva, ama il ballo, signorina.
The contrast is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it's so striking with the boxes.
Yeah.
And I'm impressed with the balance, to tell you the absolute truth. Way to go, Elijah.
Yes.
Like, you want to get married?
It was funny because when we did this before, Lauren was my husband.
Lauren, your face. Look at him. He's like.
Pittore da bottega.
Vipera.
Rospo.
Sega.
You have to get really mad and then
It works so well though.
It's
like
always
when you guys got your face right and like.
Yes, I love you.
Andrew, I'm looking forward to hearing your falsetto in Act 4.
What falsetto?
Where he sings it up the octave.
Oh.
Do you do that?
Need to find a wig or something.
a mop.
Bernard's got a wig.
Oh my god, that wig. So good.
I saw that.
By this time, my hand is starting to cramp.
It was right around that time. I was like, you got a minute. Elijah suffered for the art, too.
Autumn.
Yay, everybody.
Yay.
Man, there's nothing like singing in your living room.
So here's the question. Is it easier for you to sing in your living room than it is to go to like the theater, say, and get ready? Or do you still have the same pre-show jitters? Is it better or is it worse?
I like it more. But I think something that I'm realizing more, especially since I've started doing more musical theater instead of opera, is how much of an introvert I am and how much being in the dressing room is so exhausting and like the last thing that I need before I go on stage. So I get to be home, I'm in my space. When I'm not on stage, I can sing because my microphone is muted. So like I feel much more in control of my surroundings. I can't control the internet. But aside from that, I think like I can be barefoot, you know, like there's just so many like little things that just make me feel more grounded and comfortable.
I like the freeze of you guys smiling at each other. You're like, I mean, for me, I guess like I miss the routine of show days and like what you do to get ready and you go to the theater
the ritual
to do the thing. Whereas it's like, okay, do I have something to eat or have dinner before? Like, do I wait until after? It's not that long. And it's just like, okay, do I put on some pants? You know, it's like, all these like silly things where it's like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I'm back home and do this and that. And, I don't know.
But
wait,
it's not have silly. A 90-minute call before the show.
Yeah.
That's nice.
You don't have to battle any kind of traffic to get to that call on time, and when you're preparing, you don't have to be preparing in front of others.
And Lauren, you can drink a real martini.
Yeah, I mean,
this is true.
To be fair, I drank for real the last time we did BOHEME 2.
Well,
so did I.
I was like, but a lot of bad things happened at main stage that were not supposed to.
Oh, was I not supposed to say that?
To be fair.
Three of us have worked together before at a venue. Just in case the audience hasn't put that together.
Sometimes those venues lead you down that path, you know.
Heck yeah! Well, that's how I got my first acting job in Chicago with Corey. Was because we were working together, and he was like, "Hey, you know how to sing high notes. Do you want to come audition for this show?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do."
Was that Little Women, Joe?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, because I was like, I don't know an opera. I need someone that can sing high and someone that can sing operatic. And then I was like, wait a minute, she's right here.
It was cool. I was so nervous for that audition. I was so nervous.
They're so different.
Yeah.
What show was it?
It was the musical Little Women. Not the opera.
Yeah. Man.
I sang Meg in that production.
Nice. I had the funniest experience when I directed that show. It was for a school, for a high school.
Yeah.
And that part at the end where She's let me go now, and the orchestra, and everyone's supposed to be crying. The lights went out, and the one night, all of the friends of this one girl were in the audience. So as the lights went out, whoa, like they just went crazy.
That's awful.
And I looked at all my friends who were in the pit, and were like, "She just died." Cheers.
High school.
And we just kept playing, but.
Well, shout out to our Beth, Christine Morgan. You did a great job, girl.
Mm-hmm. She did. She rocked that.
Yeah. Oh, man. We're just talking about main stage, Lauren.
Oh.
As you put a pretzel in your mouth.
See, we live in Arizona, so we have storage space, so we can go to Costco. And
nice.
So we have a giant box of Cheez-Its.
Oh, Cheez-Its, even better.
But yeah, I said...
What, do you live in a house or something? What's that?
Like not sharing walls with other people? Bananas. We were talking about how... like when you're performing from home, there's certain things you can do. And Corey was like, well, yeah, like you can drink an actual martini. And I was like, well, to be fair, I did drink for real when we did Bohem before.
Yeah. I drank like 2 of those quacks.
Oh, the quack.
Oh, really?
I mean, it was so bad at main stage that when Jacob was my assistant director for Ultra Boys, in the middle of rehearsal, he would bring me a Sailor and Coke. I'm like, we're in rehearsal.
It's amazing.
Like I'm directing the show.
The things you do for art, right? Jeez.
Yeah. Man, that sounds like the kind of work environment I want to be in. That sounds great.
That place is amazing.
I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I did a show this summer in California, and I walked in and they were doing shots of bourbon in the dressing room. I'm like, you guys are like, it's just one. Yeah, but I mean, I guess it was a pre-show ritual.
Yeah, loosen up a little bit.
30 shows.
What other questions do you have, Em?
That was just one that I've been thinking of, and I just really wanted to ask that one directly.
No.
I can come up with other ones. Elijah, when you are madly mixing away, you said you had 4 screens. Can you tell us a little bit more about what it is that you're mixing and balancing and how you do the magic and the madness?
So I have the YouTube stream on one Scribe vertical screen. So that the YouTube is on there. And I can also see the chat and I can see the stream health and all that stuff. I have my middle screen is the actual Zoom that we have. And my third screen is where I have the software and I'm trying to like balance the music and the singers audio together and stuff like that. And also do a little, like if someone might be slow or something like that, I can like try to fix it. Also have something out monitoring the internet connection, making sure the internet stays stable. And then I also have my tablet up that has my second Zoom chat that also has like Facebook, since we communicate through Facebook and everything. And then lastly, I have another where I'm actually like watching the stream on the YouTube stream, so I can hear what it sounds like. So in case it's like sounds off or something like that. But mostly I just use like Jim for that because he can tell me when it sounds off, because I'm usually doing like paying attention to too many things at once. So
yeah, you are tech director, you're sound director, you're lighting designer, you're stage director, you're electrical engineer.
So the problem is too, I still have to listen to the Zoom call, because in case like there's a problem or someone says something, because the YouTube is so far, there's a delay on the YouTube. So I still need to listen to the Zoom call and the YouTube simultaneously.
It was over 30 seconds behind last night.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? I had no idea.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely over 30 seconds. Like, it was still going when we were taking the bows.
Well, and I have to say, this is awesome. What you guys have put together, and I'm sorry, I hate saying that. I'm trying to cut it out. What you have put together is really awesome. Like everything from the technical side, because Johanna, you asked me in the beginning when this all happened if I was interested in doing something, and mentally I was not in the space. Like I had 2 really dark weeks that I didn't want to do anything. Even though I was still teaching, it took everything I could to like get enough energy to even put like an hour into my students, to let alone put this together. And I was like, I love you, but there is no way. So I commend you there. Because it's really awesome. It's enjoyable. It's part of our new Friday night, that we get to watch this. And Friday nights are pretty sacred for us because of RuPaul's Drag Race and everything. And I was like, okay, but I was like, you.
Thanks, Corey. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like people ask, oh, how are you doing? And like I'm doing some essential work here a little bit, but it's like between that and this, like it gives me a nice like steadiness throughout the week for sure.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like my personal reaction to most things is like when I feel bad, I gotta do something. And I felt really sad and lonely, and so I wanted to find a way to connect with people in a way that was valuable to me, and I thought that could bring value to other people as well. And so this is what happened.
Yeah.
And the
You built a whole community.
Like, Joe, this wouldn't have happened if you weren't who you are, because you also have these amazing connections and these people that like you will say, I have this crazy idea, and they'll just go, yeah, okay, what do you need? Like,
I don't know why. I'm so grateful for I'm so grateful for you. Like Lauren and I told that story again about how when we were first doing Boheme, I was like, hey, so I have this idea to do Boheme in a bar. Do you want to sing me or Musetta? She was like, what?
She had never heard me sing before. And there was no part of me that, as she was telling me about this project, thought I was going to be in it. Like, yeah. But really, I mean, without the people that are performing, I mean, the fact that we have all these people that are willing to be in the chorus and put all this amazing work into, I mean, it's not a huge time commitment, but it's a lot
It's a huge emotional commitment right now. And I feel like that was like the biggest ask of everyone was like, are we okay? Are we okay today? Like, can we do this today? Is that okay? And I'm really grateful that everyone who's involved in the project is willing to, to step up, even if they don't have an okay day. Like that's,
I've seen so many of my friends who are singers, and they're like, I haven't sung for 2 months, blah, 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 and it's like, or like, I don't know, early on, it was like, I saw a lot of those posts where it's like, if you don't learn that new skill or get that project done now that you've been putting off, then like you're never gonna do it.
Speaking. Then
it's just like don't tell people how to feel or whatever during this situation. It's like we all deal with it differently, and you can't project onto other people like what you think you should be doing.
It's shock and grief and trauma, and like the human body literally experiences that, and your brain functions and processes that differently from person to person. So I mean,
for sure,
you can't control that in any way. But for me, this has really given me something to focus on from week to week. And I was a singer who wasn't singing. I mean, until she approached me and was like, hey, I need some help, I really wasn't doing anything. I was just kind of floating in a sea of existential crisis.
Yeah.
But so was I. I mean, so was I. Like, so was I this week. Like I felt very, very down this week. And that's just part of this whole experience that we're going through right now. We have to like embrace that and make it part of this experience.
It's been really helpful to try to like figure out a way to translate Italian into English into emojis. It sounds stupid, but it really has made me sit and kind of process what they're feeling and expressing.
It was pretty impressive.
It's made me process my own feelings differently.
If you need help with Act 4, let me know.
Good at emojis, guys.
You guys know it was Andrew's idea, right?
Yeah.
Andrew, that's really smart.
Yeah.
It's really smart.
Okay, so that was one thing. My brother was like, oh my gosh, this girl's like posting all these emojis and they're funny, but I didn't know what they were. And I told him, and he's like, oh, that makes sense. So maybe like, that should just be part of the description. To
So
be
like, I do that at the beginning
like
of every production,
Yeah, yeah.
every one. Yeah.
like when the chat goes
I'm like,
by, then like people maybe don't see it. So like, maybe incorporate it in your like speech.
Into the speech, yeah. Okay.
In lieu of translation, we're gonna have like a little emojis to give you the idea, keep the story.
Super
going.
emojis.
Super emojis.
I mean, it makes sense with everything that we're doing. It's just
it's like quick and
adapting
easy.
to
You
vibe.
get it, yeah.
well, also emojis translate like
100%, yeah.
if you think about it, like the new numbers,
We all use them.
Completely, they're completely cross-translatable. So it's
Yes, and you don't.
Elijah.
Yes.
Do you want to join us and get rid of that picture?
Yeah, let's see your face.
My webcam is not hooked up.
Okay.
We'll just have to settle for your dulcet tones.
I know.
Johanna, I think it's one of the weirdest things, like, because you're one of the most positive people I think that I know, that I have in my life. I think that's your presence in my life, because I'm not that way. That's why we work well together.
You're just honest, Corey. You're not negative, okay? That's different. Those things are different. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, so to hear you say that you were down, like I said, when I said, I was like, I can't do this with you. I'm sorry. I love you, but yeah, because you were one of those people that are always like, for me, always comes into work or comes into whatever project you're doing, like with a big smile.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I think I, like everyone else, has felt the gamut of emotions during this experience, and then to like throw a character who's dying into that mix was like a lot for me to process this week. And it's been tough and interesting, but like I think that courage is something that we meet, that we gather in spite of how we feel sometimes, and it's kind of been my motto this week. So, here we are.
Well, and I'm sure it must be hard, because some of us who are married, with other people, have been with other people for these weeks. But for somebody, that you're living by yourself, so to have to process everything and not have that soundboard, unless you like, we talk to other people, but to have those people in your everyday life to like have that soundboard to check. And a bit, I've tried to be overly honest, because I know how I am. So I'm like, today I'm feeling this. So then my husband goes,
I think it's really important. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And these rehearsals, in a way, are like a social call too. It's like a nice, like, hey, how's it going? What's up? And I'm like, hey, check out the new bread I made, or like, look what I made for dinner tonight.
Did you make bread?
I did last week.
How did I miss that?
You were making dinner during one of our chats last week. I remember we were talking about Act 4 stuff, and you were making dinner.
I know. I'm like, hey, I gotta go. Give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna turn this down.
But I totally agree. I mean, I've said this to Joe too. I'm like, I feel like I'm in a cast. Like, a lot of you guys I've never actually met before, but I feel very connected to you, and like I get excited when I get to see your faces in the Zoom, and it feels like we're hanging out. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, something that's important to me is that people feel like people in rehearsal, not that, I see all of you where you're at, and I want you to bring all of that to rehearsal. I don't want you to like have to separate yourself from how you actually feel. So I think we're all human beings, and it's important to remember that. So, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Well, listen, that's
Some beautiful stuff is happening in the chat, you guys.
There we go.
Ooh. Is it
Wow.
Yeah,
That's gorgeous.
sourdough.
That's beautiful.
Andrew, you are so amazing. So Dorian said there are the people who are oscillating betwixt the two as well. He was down for Boheme until he wasn't down for Boheme, but it was already the dress rehearsal and he had to pull it all back together. Stages of grief, he said, you know? And then Lydia said, totally, Dorian. It's a crazy time. It's okay to feel whatever we're feeling at the given time, sorry. And then Pereski at Evie, she said, it's so cool and important for me to see projects like this emerge in these times. It emphasizes the true value of art and how much it helps us through the struggle. And Lydia agreed. So yes,
Thanks,
exactly.
guys. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really nice to hear that.
Yeah.
Woo, we all feel it. Charlie, you feel it? Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Bye, Elijah.
Oh no.
even-
What if something
I'm
goes wrong?
scared. Oh man.
Didn't see you over there, Elijah.
Oh man.
It's funny how we all just stopped too. It's like we can't go on without Elijah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the next projects that so we're gonna be working with M. Can I talk about that, M? Is that cool?
Oh yeah, go for it. I'm excited.
M has this amazing one-woman show that that Elijah and I are working on producing together, about her dating experiences in Chicago.
Oh wow!
And it's so good. It's so good, you guys. And then I'll be like asking for submissions for our fall opera pretty soon. And so like, I think I'm like thinking ahead about how much work I'm going to have to do. And I don't know if I'll be able to do all of that and this and, Elijah, yay!
Here he is.
Are you laughing at him?
Oh no, I thought he brought it up on accident. It was like, oh.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, Joe, so moving forward, the energy and everything that you've put into this, how do you feel about moving on to doing another full production like this?
Oh my gosh, I really want to. It's
Cool.
it's so fun and it's so exciting. And I think that I think we're on the precipice of like doing something really, really big and beautiful. The more like the way that this evolves, I think that it will become more and more streamlined, and I think we'll be able to do more and more cool and different things. Like as I'm going back and watching the videos, I'm like, oh, we could do this here and like shift this like this way. And so I think, and even working on Emily's project, I think we'll have more, working on Emily's project will give us even more options because we'll be able to understand things in a different way. Just like through her story and through telling her story. So I think it's going to be super cool and I'm excited.
What is this show? Is it a musical or just a straight theater or what?
It's a mutt. So it started as a cabaret, and then I did it a couple places here in town, and then I actually did a tour of it, and then I rewrote it
around the world.
No, I did it like in the Midwest. I did, like, one show in like St. Louis, and I did one in Indy and one somewhere else. So then I entered it as a Fringe show here at Chicago Fringe, and then another Elgin Fringe. And the ultimate goal is we want to take it to Edinburgh Fringe.
Cool.
The ultimate. So we'll see. We're just kind of evolving it, and since it's it was going to be part of Chicago Cabaret Week, which got canceled. So now we don't have to, keep it in a theater. We can do it live, so we can do whatever we want with it. So we're looking at maybe mixing some mediums.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting that the opportunities that doing things like on the internet bring us. You know, we can mix in video, we can mix in animation, we can mix in like all kinds of stuff. It's so cool, you guys.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine who works for Houston Grand Opera, and I was like, what are you guys doing in the fall? Like, what's going on? Like, who knows what things are going to be like? And I was almost kind of curious, like bouncing ideas, being like, are you going to maybe put on an opera, but then like do almost like a Med HD broadcast where people like buy it for like $50 and then they can like watch it or something like that? You know, I don't know, like, it's so interesting to like kind of figure that out. Or is everything just going to be on hold, you know?
Elijah, did you stop the stream? Oh, no, it's there. Okay.
It just blipped. Yeah.
It just blipped. Okay.
And then you look at like what Dallas Opera is doing, and they're like keeping a pretty good presence going on with all their digital stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's kind of mostly just about staying relevant in so many ways, you know?
Right.
Opera Orlando was doing a lot of those little 20-minute scenes that they had commissioned for their young artist program, and they actually been digitally producing those. They've been doing a lot of live stuff too, as far as like updating art song and bringing in not interpretive dancers, but like ballerinas or something that they project behind them. So I think it's really interesting. We might, you know, end up going back the way of the art song salon, the digital age.
Then you just think about like rights and all that stuff, like with orchestras and all that. Like they're gonna have to make concessions if you want to keep, you know, doing things and figuring it all out. So.
Or maybe this will be a mix for, you know, for a lot of people. They'll do live shows, but they'll also lean toward, you know, like streaming shows after it's done and being able to, because we're looking into, with Chicago, I work for Chicago Kids Company, and we're looking into that because our holiday show is like it's one of our staples. And a lot of families look forward to it. So I was like, we can't not do the show.
Yeah.
But what do we do?
Do you do your show in a smaller venue to where it's only a couple hundred people, and then, or do you do it still in a big venue but space them out? Like, there's so many different.
Right. Well, so last year we had Mrs. Claus, a holiday musical, playing at 3 different theaters. At Beverly, we had it playing at Stahl Family Theater, and then out at Pheasant Run. So this year we were talking about actually taking our like warehouse, moving everything, creating the set, like, and filming the show, you know, and then like editing it together and then selling the family codes for the show.
I think that's really smart.
I mean, we just have to be creative right now. You know, those of us who are going to lead
and keep going.
Yeah, because those of us who are going to lead the new era into what we're going into are the ones like Johanna who are, you know, even when we're like, you know, pushing through.
Yeah. My new rule is you can't say something is a problem if you're not going to suggest a solution, because I'm talking with.
Yes.
Every time I say something, it is a negative answer. And I understand we're all in fear and we're all in a state of grief, and I get it. Yeah. But I am very impatient with that right now. And mama ain't time. I got stuff we got to do. We got barriers we got to break. And if we're going to get back to work, somebody's got to start. So if you're a team, that's great. You can play with me. But when I present you with a problem, you can't just knock it down. You got to bring back another solution.
Well, it's the improv yes and.
Yes, it's a yes and. It's a problem. Yes, it is a problem.
Yes,
and this is what we will do about it.
Absolutely. That's sort of how we have to be.
I often say I don't see problems, I just see solutions. So
that's why, Elijah, I'm bringing you on to do the project.
Yes.
You're hired.
I think that's why we're all here right now, though. I mean, I mean, we see this as the solution, at least for right now. This is live entertainment, and we're all here. Where, you know, everyone else.
I don't think it is going to go back to live theater the way it was, guys. I think that this is too powerful of a platform, and we've all discovered it now.
Well, certainly not until there's a vaccine that's accessible to everyone. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, what a great idea. That you could stream that holiday show to people who aren't even in Chicago, you know?
Well, they're even doing that with movies
Hey, I
now.
would
Like
love
they were
that.
doing this with movies before this all happened. Like,
Yeah,
pre-buy the movie and watch it at home.
yeah.
Right.
It's way more convenient, but you pay like more than you would like $5.99. It's more like $20 or something like that. You know,
Pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't it Trolls that brought in a crazy amount of money, like almost what it would have made in the movie theaters?
Yes.
Like, it was streaming, you know. So people are learning. I've learned so much over these last few weeks. So I'm like, how to edit movies, how to do all of
Especially if you got great
things.
HD and all that stuff, and like people's setups with TVs and like great sound. Like,
And
yes, it's not live theater, but like,
frankly,
it's also comfort of your home. So
we've been talking about we needed new audiences and we can't get people out of their homes because of Netflix and chill. This is a great way to introduce new audiences to opera in small, condensable chunks that they can take in their own time.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly. You can pause it and go get your popcorn and come back, and pause it and go get your wine and come back. It's perfect.
I love that I no longer have to, as a performer, have to worry about I can't go see my friends' shows because I'm in a show. Now I can see every shows.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I have
Well,
never had that before.
We have had viewership from Japan. We've had viewership from Venezuela. We've had viewership from Canada. We've had viewership from California, France,
Amazing.
England, and Romania so far that I know of. So like, yeah.
I love that.
Oh, and can't forget I almost forgot Guadeloupe in the Caribbean as well.
Nice.
I just think this is
Thanks,
a fabulous
Lindsay.
platform.
Yeah.
And then you have to remember, you know, with progression, it's a way to introduce people to new things. Like one of the main ways people were being introduced to opera, like their first experience with opera was Bugs Bunny for like the longest time.
Yeah.
Because of Flight of the Valkyries.
The best.
Yep.
What's opera, Doc? Yeah.
And that's why everyone here knows that, because that was
Bugs Bunny.
Oh my gosh, I love that cartoon. I might go watch it right now.
Yeah.
I just have to say that.
What would you do with the rabbit? Sorry, that's the other one.
I mean, that was my first experience with opera, and then it went from that to Fantasia, and then when Animaniacs came out,
Animaniacs.
And
They're bringing them back.
Yes, and Tiny Toon Adventures and stuff like that. That's how I was introduced, and then
So smart.
They're tiny.
Yeah.
and now this is just a new way for the new generation to get introduced to these things, is through streaming and stuff like that.
Heck yeah.
So
Heck
that way,
yeah.
you know, the art does, like I said this before and I'll say it again, like Roger Ebert said, that the true testament of true art is that its ability to endure through the ages, and this just shows that opera continues to endure.
Yeah.
I mean, look at opera. It got through the previous pandemic of 1919. It got through a Great Depression. You know, got through World Wars. Like,
it's what got people through those things as well.
Yeah.
We're rediscovering the human part of the arts and humanities, I think.
I feel like this pandemic kind of forced us, as like, because it is a global pandemic, it's forced all of us to kind of put a mirror to ourselves and just really ask ourselves
What's important.
questions. Yeah, what's important. Like, okay, I'm not going to work anymore. That's fine. I'm not bothered by that. But I don't get to see my friends every day. That's bothering me. And it's making you reassess what is important, what's important to you, and just, you know, after all this is done, everyone's talking about getting back to normal. How do you get back to normal after this? After you spent so much time with yourself, after you really, probably for the first time ever, see what's really important to you. So.
And do you really want to go back to normal?
No.
We're really happy with the industry and normalcy the way it was, because there were a few things I would like to change.
You know what though? I was having a conversation with a friend about this, and we were both talking. would be nice to go see a symphony concert or go to the
Yeah.
theater.
Yes.
I mean, and I think that when the social distancing has lifted and we can finally all get back to some sort of normalcy again, that people are going to really be craving going out to the theater or going out and doing something that they haven't done in a long time.
They'll appreciate it a lot more.
Yeah. And
I miss singing in choir.
Yeah. But I don't think I'm going to go to a Lady Gaga 10,000 person concert for my birthday this year, guys. I was looking forward to it.
I don't know. That new song "Rain on Me" is fire. So
I know, but I don't think I can be in a crowd of 10,000 people again.
Yeah, for sure.
Comfortable ever again.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, my allergies are being really bad right now, and it's like, oh God, don't sneeze in public.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, one of the things as a teacher, I never thought, I was like, I miss my students, and I was like,
what?
I was like, don't get me wrong, I love them with all my heart, but to go, I miss my students, and I was like, what? Like,
yeah. Someone asked me if I missed
you,
and I was like, yeah, I miss the students. I miss most everyone. Yeah.
But I love teaching online because you get to see like their bedrooms or like like you get another like glimpse into what their
or you get to see this
or this.
You're wearing pants. Look at you, fancy.
I know. I put real pants on for you. I put real pants on.
I did not.
No.
We're not hiding anything. I'm right next to the bar cart here, guys. Like,
I'm not
just
wearing
being
pants.
real honest about
Say it again
my
because your legs were like.
She's just like, don't mind me. I'm just gonna grab.
That's what you wanted in Act 2. Right?
Yes. It was okay. It's okay. You did an amazing thing. Everyone loved it. So.
And I love that she showed up in 2 screens.
That's what I was going for right now. That's why I was like, because your legs are like.
I'm really flexible, guys.
Oh.
No comment.
Show up in a second screen.
Lauren with an O. Oh.
What's going on, Lauren? How are you?
I'm good.
How's your work?
It's work.
Lauren's also so we have 2 Marcellos and 2 essential workers right now in our screen. So
it's okay.
Yeah.
It gets me by.
Okay.
We have health insurance.
Yeah, that's it. Health insurance.
Hey.
It kicked in right before the pandemic, and I'm very thankful.
Very nice. Very nice.
I was looking for a new job the week before.
Okay.
Yep. He was about to submit an application, and then we got the letter in the mail, and we were like, well. And it would have been like working at the airport, so he would have lost his job. So we got very lucky. He works in a grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The grocery store is not going out of business anytime soon.
No, it's not going anywhere.
I hope not. I'm screwed.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
Start gardening.
But I love doing this show. It's been great.
Yeah.
So, question for everyone: how does everyone feel about doing like the final act next week? How you guys feeling about that? What are your emotions? What are you feeling?
Act 4 is really hard. Music.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I've been having a fun time recording the track. I'll just say that.
I think the cool thing about Act 4 is like you see like this, Act 3 is so sad and then it's beautiful. And Act 4 is kind of this like fun with the guys again, which kind of just still shows like our youthful spirit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just flips on a dime when Musetta and Mimi come in.
I'm
your
looking
fault,
forward to
Musetta.
not being a fool for a little bit. It's been fun to be ostentatious, but because Musetta is more genuine and in Act 4. Yeah.
I think Musetta's always genuine.
Yeah.
That's why I love her.
Yeah, I don't know what the right word is, because I think even when she's ridiculous, she's still vulnerable. So that's not the word.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to exploring a different dynamic, which will make this platform totally different.
Well, it's literally a life and death situation, right? And so your vulnerability and your urgency come from a different place.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful to watch Musetta have that development, for sure. I'm gonna be really sad when the project is done, like, because this has been really special. But I also think that it'll be good for me to get to like move towards the next project, because this has really been an experiment for the entire process, like throughout this entire process. Yeah.
When we're done, are you going to splice together all 4 acts and have it on one YouTube video?
I was thinking about doing that. I was planning to do that. Whether or not it's uploaded, that's up to Johanna. I was just gonna do it just to do it, so we all like have it. Yeah.
Thanks.
I was just gonna
do that,
and I was just planning on. Well, it was gonna be like a surprise, but I was gonna.
Thanks, Andrew.
I was gonna splice that together.
You ruined everything. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna splice it together, and I was also going to splice together the our various rehearsals together, so you guys could like kind of see your like improvement throughout the entire process. So
Elijah,
bloopers.
That's amazing. Yeah. It's funny because I have a coworker who, like, when I told him about, opera is not for everyone. Opera is for everyone, but opera, some people react to it in a different way, let's say. And he was like, "Oh, just show me the reel whenever that comes out." And I was like, "Okay." And then I was like, "Wait a minute, we could put together a reel. Like that's really a thing we could do." So
we have the technology.
Yeah. What's a bite at least? Charlie's like loving this right now.
Doggy.
He's a good potty. I'm gonna be really sad when it's over, for sure. Try not to think about that ahead of time.
Yeah, we'll just do another one.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Well, folks.
Yep. It's that time.
Yeah.
We got her tomorrow.
Yeah. Corey and Lauren and Emily, thank you so much for joining us this evening as our special guests. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week at Act 4. It's the final act. Get your tissues ready. We'll be there at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I will post that link tomorrow morning for you guys.
3 p.m. Hawaiian time.
And please like and subscribe to Johanna's channel, and make sure you ring the notification bell so you can be alerted when she uploads. And she does upload regularly.
She does.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye. See you soon.
Okay, stream is done.